Greetings, rise and shine, brethren. We are the World Global Reset Restoration Network family, comprised of 198 sovereign nations with over 7 billion sovereign principles, being of one mind, one heart, and one spirit, walking together under the divine principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I come to you as a voice in the wilderness to introduce to you a man. No, not just any man, but a man sent by Yah Allah to redeem mankind. Dr. Hindu I.L. Henderson, the Adak Chief Justice of the Universal World Court, and who's also known as Yehoshua Mashiach, the Son of Man. The information that you will be receiving in this and other videos you won't get from anywhere else on the planet. Hear the many truths and fulfillment of the laws, judgments, and sentencings from our Creator, Father Yah, as well as the fulfillment of the true interpretation of the Holy Scriptures and books. Now, without further ado, Dr. Hindu I.L. Henderson with his beloved host, Shelley Bowling.
You've been able to put even the letter in which now the United States are just now once again recognizing it because it happened around the 5th of July. Yes, the 5th of July it was written, and only now do the Americans once again want to even look at it. But it was written July 5th, 1852. It was written by a black man by the name of Fredrick Douglass. And he wrote about the 4th of July. He asked the question, what does the 4th of July mean to a slave? What does it mean to a black man that's a slave? But only now do they want to go back and review it. But I brought this to the United Nations' attention back in 1999. I could go back to talking about your Mount Rushmore, a place in which you deem to be a great place to meet on the 4th of July. I'm going to tell you a great place to meet on the 4th of July passed. It passed when the one known as John Adams, your so-called would have been first president, died on that day. That was a great time to meet at his funeral. Down the road, 5 hours later, would have been another great time to meet on the 4th of July. Let me help you out. That would have been the funeral of the one they know as Thomas Jefferson. God Almighty. Stay with me. I know you're going to get offended, but oh well. I have to bring you to these great times of the 4th of July in which you missed the celebration that you should have been at. Because those were great times. The 3rd 4th of July that you could have enjoyed would have been 5 years after the time Thomas Jefferson and John Adams died on the same day in 1826, 5 hours apart. Another time would have been 5 years later when the third president by the name of James Monroe died. That would have been your third best time to meet during the 4th of July for any celebration. Three men that were nothing more than liars, manipulators. Thomas Jefferson, right now, he was still alive as he was when they first questioned him about the Declaration of Independence. He still can't tell them to this day who wrote it, because he didn't. And they keep sending out all of these fake would-be ads where they're saying that he himself just wanted the papers in which he wrote, versus supposedly it was the initial Declaration of Independence, and these are some of the drafts. No, those were all of the changes that he was trying to implement in the original Declaration of Independence. Those wasn't drafts. They were changes, amendments. So stop it with the so-called would-be first drafts. It wasn't corrections to an old draft. It wasn't a correction to the initial draft in which he wrote up. They were changes to the original draft. And if you look at it, if you read the words that it says, the Declaration of Representation of the United States, you have to realize that the United States, on most of those documents, have been put in calligraphy. And when they wasn't in calligraphy, they was in something that was known as typesetting. You have to realize that during those years in which Thomas Jefferson was around in the 1700s, they wasn't using a typewriter. They wasn't using typesetting. Typewriters didn't come about until the beginning of the 19th century. So stop it with all the ignorance about him so-called his first draft, and these was only some so-called would-be corrections. No, they were changes to the original draft, and which was written by Colonel Richard Henderson in the early 1800s and in the early 1700s, even knowing that he himself always used the pen because he was before the time of typesetting. He was before the typewriter was invented. America, land of the free, home of the brave, and the biggest liars that could have ever been created on the planet. Self-made heroes. Self-made warriors. Self-made soldiers. Heroes of the great kind. They fought no one but themselves in their own sleep, and still lost. Stay with me. America has to come to reality, because right now, all of the nations around us are reading everything that has been written and given to them by the Universal World Court, by the International Court, by the courts in which they recognize to be the true courts of the universe. They're reading it now, and they already know that the stories in which the United States of America is bringing to them, they've already researched it, they have already searched it out, and they already know that at best, less than 10% of it that's being spoken can be classified as anywhere close to half-truths, because it is all false. And America now is really campaigning. They're campaigning hard in the black community, just as they always have. They create scenarios, they create situations, they create problems, and then they take them to the black community and they tell them, this is how we're going to save you. You know, a sad gesture right now, and I would have to agree with the NFL fans. Because you have to understand, the majority of the NFL fans are not black people. Very few black people find themselves able to attend the NFL games because they cannot afford it. Stay with me. Let's be honest about it. They didn't all sneak in by way of the back gate. They didn't climb the fence to get in. See, you made things a little bit more secure than that. So now, at best, the majority of them, they stay at home and watch it on TV. So the only way that the NFL is going to truly be threatened because of the ticket sales that they will be losing out on is because of the Caucasoid Caucasian world that will not attend. And I would say that yes, it's a great attack upon them. For you now to want to finally sing the Black National Anthem before every game starts. Who are you commemorating? Who is this in remembrance of? What's the great celebration? Is it because that you finally realized that niggers can also, I keep forgetting, your African American black men can finally quarterback your teams? Is that one of the reasons? Oh, that's not the reason. Have you finally realized that the person that carries the ball the most, that catches the ball across the line of the opposing team the most, the one that gains the most yardage, the one that makes sure he breaks the most tackles, he catches the most passes, yes, he'll dive into a barbed wire fence, catching the ball, even when it's thrown by a white man who barely has a true angle to put the ball where it's supposed to be. Stay with me. I'm only messing with you, but I'm giving you truths as I go along so you understand. For those heroes, for you singing the Black National Anthem now before you start every football game would probably be a great memorial. It'll probably even be a greater celebration. Yes, and to commemorate them with singing the national anthem before the games would possibly be great. Only if you had to realize that was the way it was to start out to begin with. Not wait until after so many of them now are suffering from what we know to be concussions. So many of them now. We can name one of them. You made him not only a Heisman Trophy winner in his time, but you also made him a great football player in the NFL. O.J. Simpson. Only to put him in jail for climbing a fence to cut his lover and his so-called would have been lover's lover throat. But knowing that with all of the running that he did, with all the jumping and catching that he did, with the knees in which he had, and the shape that they were in, it would have been impossible for him not only to climb a fence, he was having problems climbing into what was known as nothing more than Rolls Royces and limousines. He was having problems climbing in them without taking some painkiller. Ask him. He's still alive, catching now. Why you say out the opportunity? I'm only giving you this. I don't need to get into your so-called argument of some legality of did someone commit murder or not. That's not my concern right now. I'm getting you to the point that you understand that you make heroes out of people only to destroy them later when they find the time to tell you no more. I'll be giving myself for free. Right now, the United States of America is under siege. I told you that before, but you didn't believe me. I, as far as you're concerned, is nothing more than a liar. I know. Let's just make this 4th of July a true Independence Day. Can we do that? I can tell you July the 5th, 1852, it was then said by Fredrick Douglass. He asked the question, what to the slave of the 4th of July? I ask the question now, what to the slave is the 4th of July? Stop it, black folk. No, you're not the only slaves, so let me help you out. If you bear the first name American before you say what your nationality is, you are a slave. If you say your first name and then end it with America, you are a slave. American Chinese, Chinese American, you're a slave. African American, American African, you are a slave. American Mexican, Mexican American, you are a slave. Jewish American, American Jew, you are a slave. Need I go on and on? I don't think so. I believe everybody should be now getting at least a visual of what I'm talking about. You're still a slave. So I ask you the question, what is the 4th of July to you? What does it mean to you? How much barbecue will you eat on this celebrated day? How many drinks will you toast and be merry and happy on that day? It's only tomorrow. Come on, everybody's got to know what you got to do. How many of you are going to just go to the park and celebrate it? Eat your barbecue, drink your beer, and I would say you're going to wallow in your blues and in all of that which I classify as being nothing more than your sorrow. You're going to wallow in it. On the 4th of July, and you want to know something? You better be careful. They will be watching you. You go down to your lakes, you go down to your parks, you even sit in your backyard. Guess what? They are going to be monitoring you. They who? You know who. The same ones that now you're trying to find some way for them to rebuild. They're trying to find some way for them to defund them. Listen, they are going to defund them on July the 3rd. And on July the 4th, they're going to refund them so they can come and keep an eye on you. God Almighty. On your would-be so-called birthday, for whatever that's worth. You missed the 3 great celebrations of the 4th of July. 1826, they had 2 great celebrations. On that one 4th of July, the great day, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died 5 hours apart. They died. The 3rd greatest 4th of July celebration. James Monroe, another one of the presidents, died 5 years later. And you missed all 3 great celebrations. Only to come to this point where you're going to be prepared to go with the 45th president to have some so-called would-be celebration of a birthday of a nation that has done nothing more than destroy lives, has done nothing more than created wars to destroy people on their own land, who has done nothing more than to find themselves waiting until pitch black dark at night to go out and cut throats of the people who have hosted them as them being nothing more than visitors. They're going to burn down their villages and their teepees and their huts. They're going to cut the throats of all of their men while they're sleeping. They're going to rape their women even before the women have totally woken up. They will be raped. Their children will also be raped. And many of them will find themselves swinging from a tree where they were classified as being a legal lynching. So stop it with the so-called celebration of a great nation. Wake up to reality. You, at best, will watch your monuments fall due to the fact that it's not just a curse for one, but it's a curse for all.
United States of America, you as a corporation have failed to index your people. Yet the whole world has been indexing or identifying their people for years now. Some do it automatically. Therefore, because of your indifference and your ignorance and your arrogance, you have not cared a whit about the people that you were supposed to represent, supposedly. At least that's what you told them. Therefore, the people of the United States, if you still want to call it a nation, were left unprotected until the Universal World Court, Dr. Henderson, and the Global Network stepped in to index the people and put them in places of protection. We are still indexing, family. Go to the SOVCPR.com website and find out the information, how you simply need to submit some paperwork to the Universal World Court. The address is there. All of the information that you need. While you can, the door is still open. Get yourselves indexed.